Why do some people seem to have a harder time learning or staying caught up with the pace of information? Why do they seem overwhelmed more easily than others? Is there anything that can be done to help them? I hope to answer each of these questions more as we seek to explore and understand information processing challenges. Let's begin with an analogy. Imagine your brain as a funnel. The bottom of the funnel is a representation of our processing speed, and the cone of the funnel represents our working memory. As information comes into your brain, it works to make sense of the information in order to respond appropriately. As long as the flow of the information entering our brain is as fast or slower than the pace at which it can go out, everything is fine. However, the moment it starts flowing faster than can be processed, the funnel begins to fill and become overwhelmed. If left unchecked, the funnel will overflow and we will be left to clean up the mess. Now, imagine the difference between these two funnels. Clearly, the one on the right has a much smaller opening. This represents someone with a slower processing speed. If we pour water into these two funnels at the same rate, the one with the smaller opening is going to fill up and overflow much faster. Similarly, someone with a slower processing speed will likely get overwhelmed more quickly and more frequently than most people. We can see something similar with someone who has a poor working memory. Working memory is the brain's ability to hold information in your head and work with it. The lower the working memory, the easier it is to get overwhelmed and struggle to process information. You can see here what that might look like in the brain. We have all felt overwhelmed before. This is because there are a lot of sources of information that are pouring into our brain each moment. This can be verbal information, like a teacher giving direct instruction, but it can also be extrasensory information, like an airplane flying overhead, the humming of fluorescent lights, the texture of clothing, or a weird smell in the air. Additionally, we may have things we are anticipating, like an upcoming test or a call from a girlfriend, that vie for our attention. When we consider all the sources of information entering our brains, it is easy to see how our funnels might overflow. Also, not all information has the same viscosity. Some information has a very low viscosity because it is either familiar or it is very simple and clear. Yet other information has a high viscosity because it is unfamiliar or complex. When high viscosity information enters our funnel, it has a tendency to clog up, making it harder for other information to get through. At times, information which was once easy to process can quickly turn into goopy sludge that takes forever to go through the funnel when there is urgency placed on a task or project. Observant parents and teachers will start to pick up on what topics or situations are high viscosity and will adapt to allow the information to get through the funnel. When we understand this analogy well, it becomes easier to see why we tend to get overwhelmed. It also explains that there can be some simple and straightforward ways we can manage information processing challenges. The first is to slow the flow. Start by being aware of all the sources of information entering the funnel. Limit the amount by eliminating distractions, talking more slowly, taking breaks between concepts, and checking for understanding. The second is keep it simple. Be aware of the viscosity of the information. Be clear and concise. Don't beat around the bush and layer your message with repetitions or unnecessary extra information. Break large concepts or expectations into smaller, more manageable chunks. The third is give it time. Because it isn't making sense right away, doesn't mean it won't eventually. Give the funnel time to drain. That is easiest when you aren't pouring more information in. Give space to process the information. Trust that it may take multiple explanations before a concept clicks. I hope that helps. If you want to learn more about processing issues or more mental health issues, please subscribe below. Also, share this with others you know that might benefit from this knowledge. Thank you.